Oh, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome back to another live stream. My name is Justin Moore. I'm the founder of Creator Wizard, where I teach you how to find and negotiate your dream sponsorships. Today, we are talking about how to get sponsored this month. It's not too late, y'all. I realize that the calendar says December 9th, and you're probably thinking there's no way in heck that you can actually get a sponsorship before everyone's going out for holidays. Like, is that even possible? Yes, it's possible. I'm here to say it is, and I want to talk about it today. So let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. I am going live on a zillion different places here. I am actually opening up the IG chat right now because I'm live on IG as well. Let's see who we got tuning in there. What's up? We got Tash Magola, Mr. Producer. What's going on, Mr. Producer? Good to see you, man. Give a shout out to my friend Paul and Brian in the chat. As well. We've got Robert Kraft. We've got James Mackenzie Rain tuning in. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. All right, so let's just dive right into it. Again, this is my time is your time on these live streams. So if you have any questions about sponsorships, negotiating, all of that stuff, please let me know in the chat because I'm going to be answering all those questions as well. But first of all, we're going to dive right into this. Okay. So again, I realize we're in December and you're probably thinking like, this is crazy. And I know I've said before on some of these live streams that there is this giant void between December 20th and January 10th, basically, where it's basically impossible to get a hold of brands, right? And so by my count, let's see, what is it? December 9th? That means you have 11 days, y'all, okay? And I'm all about making the time worthwhile, not sitting on your hands. I get it. You're drinking your peppermint pumpkin spice. No, maybe not pumpkin spice. You're drinking your peppermint mocha, right? Your peppermint latte is, I don't know, what's the drink that everyone's drinking from Starbucks these days? I don't know, but you've got 9 days left. Sorry, 11 days left. So let's talk about it, okay? So first off, spending is almost always at its peak during the holiday season. You've seen it, right? Brands running lots and lots of campaigns during the holidays. A lot of them backload their marketing budgets, right, to spend money during this time when a lot of people are purchasing things, right? So, again, people are dropping a ton of cash on gifts for their partners, their kids, software for their businesses, toys, right? Whatever it is, light up reindeer antlers for their pets. Come on. Or maybe their cars. Did you do that? It's okay. This is a judgment-free zone. Did you get a costume, a holiday costume for your kids? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. I really want to know. Okay, so again, what does all this mean for brands? Yes, of course, they're spending money during the holidays. Everyone knows that, right? Even people who aren't creators. Well, it means that there's this particular quirk, right? Which is that brands often need to spend as much of their budget as possible before the clock strikes midnight on December 31st, right? It's almost like a Cinderella type thing, right? Where they're worried that this clock is going to strike midnight because they're going to, basically the reason is because for many brands, their fiscal cycle, it's called their fiscal cycle, runs from January 1st to December 31st, okay? And if there's any leftover budget in a particular department by the end of the year, the brand's head honchos might think, I guess we didn't need to give them as much cash as we thought, right? Might as well reduce their budget for next year. And honestly, this happens. And it's not just for the marketing department, by the way. It could be for R&D, it could be for other operating expenses or whatever, right? And so they really do look at these things on a year-over-year basis. And it can be quite painful when these kind of budget realignments happen. I've worked in a corporate 9-to-5 life before, so I know this happens. And so, in other words, the brand's marketing department have better basically use it or lose it, okay? And so this puts you, dear creator, in a very strong negotiating position, okay? And so I wanted to talk about the 3 types of partnerships that you can pitch quicker than Saint Nick can squeeze down a chimney. And I heard he does that pretty fast. Are you guys ready for this? Are you excited for this? I hope you are, because I love talking about this stuff. We've got D and Fam in the chat. We've got Hannity in the chat. We've got Scenic Days. What's up, Scenic Days? Excited to finally catch one of these lives. I always end up watching them after they happen. Good to see you. Glad you could be here. And we've got It's Your Girl Kara. We got It's Your Girl Kara in here. Good to see you as well in TikTok. And who we got? We got Tash Magola tuning in all the way from Cape Town, South Africa. Learning a lot from you. Thanks, Justin. Great to see you here. Great to see you here. Mrs. Juno, that pretty girl, King Ziffy. Good to see y'all here. All right. Okay, so are you guys ready for this? Are you ready for the three different ways? Are you ready? Drop some emojis in the chat if you're ready. Maybe a starting line, the starting flag, maybe something like that. Okay, all right. So the first one is the quick turnaround, okay? If you pitch a last minute holiday activation, okay, that you can turn around extremely quickly, some brands are going to look at you as their savior, right? They are anxious to use up their budget, right? And sadly, most don't even consider trying to forge a partnership with the creator with that money, right? Because let's face it, most creators kind of suck at turning things around quickly. Sorry, it's true, okay? I've been on the other side of this. I ran an agency, okay? And so I know this. Most creators are not the best, not their strong suit, turning things around quickly. Okay, and so imagine a brand's excitement when they receive a super compelling pitch from an exciting creator, which is you, by the way, offering to effectively promote their product or their brand, right? To them, it's like Christmas came early, right? And guess what? They might even offer you a lot more than your usual rate simply because they have to use up their budget. I've seen this happen so many times. I've helped actually in some one-on-one coaching sessions that I've done with other creators, where a brand has come to them and be like, we have X amount of $1,000 left in our budget this year, and we have to spend it. Can we spend it with you? And the creator was more than the creator. And they basically told them, we have like, let's say, X of that $1,000 left. And the creator was like, sure, right? Because they didn't usually charge that amount of money. And so the creator was left sitting here thinking like, okay, I guess I need to like, double my deliverables or triple my deliverables or whatever to like justify this budget that they're offering me. And that is one of the biggest fatal flaws when it comes to doing these types of last minute partnerships, because you don't need to do that. You don't need to justify this budget that they're offering you. You don't need to be doing double or triple the amount of work just to be able to make that money. You just say, hey, thank you very much. Here's the post that I'm going to give you. Right. And so again, that may seem crazy to you, but this happens all the time. Okay. And so that is the quick turnaround. So if you are a creator who strives on, or, who thrives on, your professionalism and being able to turn things around really quickly, then maybe this is the type of pitch you're going to make, right? That's the reason that you're going to reach out. The second type of last minute holiday pitch that you can make for a brand is what I call the stretch activation. Okay. And you're probably thinking here, okay, yeah, but what if the brand is interested, right? They're interested, but they just don't quite have enough budget to meet your usual rates. Well, no sweat, right? This is a great time to offer them flexible payment terms. Okay. So basically what you can do is suggest that you can stretch the activation between Q4 and Q1. By the way, this doesn't just have to happen between fiscal years. This can happen between quarters as well, between Q1 and Q2, Q2 and Q3, right? So again, going back to the holiday for Q4, right? So even if their Q4 budget doesn't jive, you can extend the partnership into next year and let their Q1 budget cover the rest, right? And so this is a win-win, because not only are they probably going to pay you more overall for a longer partnership, but the brand now views you as a level-headed, flexible partner rather than a commodity. Because most influencers are not going to agree to that. They're going to be like, no, pay me the money, not going to happen, right? And so here you are kind of proactively coming to them with this solution to try to make this partnership work. And in fact, this exact thing is how I helped another creator make double the amount of money on a partnership by doing this tactic, because the brand, he basically offered this idea to them about doing this kind of stretch activation where he did the content, actually activated it in that quarter where they needed to spend the budget. And then he offered flexible payment terms. And he said, okay, you can pay me 50% upfront now to utilize the remainder of your quarterly budget. And then you can pay me the balance with your next quarter's budget. And the brand said, you would let us do that? Wow, that's amazing. Let's do this. And so he effectively got paid 2x for what he would have charged typically. Because a lot of creators, a brand will come to them and say, hey, the budget's $5K or the budget's $2K, or the budget's $500 or whatever. What can you do for that? And creators will basically be like, okay, sure, I guess I can make it work. And so you have now effectively set a price precedent for yourself, a not great one, by the way, where now, every time, even if the brand comes back to you with a more robust budget, they're just going to expect that you'll do it for that other amount, $500 or whatever. And so this is like a really important point about this topic. And it's, again, like, you think that this is not something that you can do, but you can do this. You can absolutely, propose these types of creative solutions to make partnerships work. Okay. We've got Max tuning in. What's going on, man? Long time no see. We've got Josiah Eats. We've got Architectural Sheet Metal 101. Hello, listening and working today. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. We've got Carol Volo tuning in. We've got Rhea. What's up, Rhea? Muay Thai Jody. What's up? We got Molly tuning in. Great to see y'all here. We got a bunch of OGs in the chat today. Happy holidays to y'all. All right. So the third type of pitch strategy that I wanted to mention today about getting sponsored this month, as in December. We are still in December, okay? I realize the calendar is almost about to turn into 2023, but this third tactic is what I call the sown seed, okay? You're probably sitting here thinking, yeah, but what if the brand says, thanks, but no thanks, right? And this is how you're feeling. Womp, womp, right? You're thinking, I guess it was just all a waste of time, right? Waste of time. Wrong. It wasn't a waste of time. The truth is that the point of a pitch is not just to get the deal. Huh? Yes, the point of a pitch is not just to get the deal. The next phase of your creator education begins when you realize that a pitch is just step one of your sponsorship wheel. And if you're not familiar with my sponsorship wheel, it is an 8-step framework that I teach in my course, Brand Deal Wizard, all around the 8 different facets of every brand partnership. And so realizing that it's actually a much longer process than just saying, oh, brand reaches out to me, or I reach out to a brand, I pitch them, they say, yes, let's do it. I execute the content, they pay me. That is a very simplistic interpretation of how partnerships actually work. And once you realize that this is just one small step out of a much larger process, it's a complete unlock for you. I guarantee it's going to be good. I actually have a simplified version kind of talking about what the sponsorship wheel is actually on my blog. So if you want to go to creatorwizard.com, you can kind of read that post. But it's like very important to understand that you are sowing the seeds with these partnerships. Okay. And it's not just about, whether or not you get the deal now, that's not the point. You are now on their radar. You have now established that, you have credibility. You're pitching them something that's interesting, right? And so even if right now during Q4, they say, hey, thanks, but no thanks, there is going to be, hopefully other opportunities down the line when they do have budgets, when they are recruiting for paid campaigns in Q1 and Q2 and beyond. And, in fact, this has happened to my wife and I countless times. I'm telling you, where, we have pitched a brand on some other, new idea or a new content format. In fact, like we had actually pitched, some brands on doing some Amazon Live integrations, right? Where, we're doing live commerce for the last couple of years. And a brand basically said, literally, this was like last December, we had pitched them kind of a holiday idea, or last November. And they basically said, thanks, but no thanks. It's interesting, but none of our clients, it was an agency, none of our clients are actually even doing this right now. They even know they're like, Amazon Live, what even is that? And I sent like a whole long email. I explained it. I think I even did like a video response kind of talking about what it was. Oh, thanks so much. This is interesting. We'll keep it in mind, right? Nothing, right? And then they literally just reached out like 2 weeks ago. This was 1 year later, and was like, hey, remember that Amazon Live thing? We have a client that's interested now. So you would we had like sown this seed into their brain. We had planted this kernel, and now they were like, let's do this. This is interesting. Tell us more. Like, can you give us some more logistics? How does this exactly work, pricing, and so on? So again, like if you are deriving income from being a creator and by working with brands, then you have to shift your mindset around this kind of fast money approach, where it is literally, it's not just about getting this one deal that you're pitching. It's about like establishing rapport, and you'll be able to reap the fruit down the line, with this particular brand or agency. So hopefully that's helpful. Again, what I really encourage is just to not like sit on your hands and wait for these opportunities to come to you. I understand that most people are kind of in holiday mindset now. I get it. You're traveling and celebrating with family and all that stuff too. But again, like if you're self-employed, even if you're doing this as a side hustle, now could be a time that maybe it's this next week, the December 12th, week, where you can go out and pitch a brand and get a call on the books for January. Like that's another thing. A lot of things that I things that have been very successful for my wife and I over the years, or even what I'm helping some of my one-on-one clients do, is like this week when I'm working with some of my one-on-one creators is it's all follow-ups for getting book calls on the books for January, right? So if brands that they had been pitching had basically said, oh, we will reapproach this in the new year once we have a better understanding of the budget or the strategy and all that stuff too. You don't just say, okay, thanks, we'll be in touch. You say, can we get a call tentatively on the books for January 17th? Most of the time, they're not going to say no. They're going to say, sure, sounds good. Like we have our budget meeting January 10th, or they'll come back and be like, hey, you know what? Our meeting is actually January 20th or whatever. Can we schedule something after that? It's actually, the onus is on you to actually push the envelope and ask for a meeting. And it's not just a meeting where you shoot the S. It's like maybe you're going to be providing some value. You're going to say, hey, we can talk through some ideas I have for quarter one or things that I'm hearing on the ground in my industry or space, right? Give them a reason to actually have people on the call, like multiple people on the call. And yes, of course, they can still say no thanks, but no thanks. But the point is that you asked. The point is that you tried. Right? We've got Do-Rag Dev the GOAT in the TikTok chat. What is going on? We've got Tesh Magolo. Yes, planting the seed and being on their radar. Noted. Exactly. We've got Olivia Maybell tuning in. Mom Life Handbook. Hannah May. Oh, man. Molly says, I love the sound effect. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate it. I've got lots of sound effects for you. I've got a hooray sound effect for you. What do you think? Oh, my goodness. We've got a question here from Make, Manage, Grow Money. Okay. How do you figure out a fair rate for both parties? I've had a company or two approach me, but honestly, I kind of left them hanging, SMH. You know what's funny about this? And I'm not calling you out or anything, because this is something that I've experienced. I've heard from a lot of creators that they just kind of they leave brands on red sometimes. They ghost the brands because they're interested, but then the moment it comes time to actually talk money and talk like negotiation and all this stuff, they kind of freeze up. They clam up. They don't know what to say. They don't know exactly how to devise a package or a proposal that the brand will get excited about. They don't want to undersell themselves, and so it just kind of becomes an easier approach to kind of recede back into their comfortable shell, recede back into their comfort zone of just creating content. Maybe they're a YouTuber, deriving income from AdSense. Again, like this whole kind of indirect versus direct monetization conversation, where it's like, yeah, it's so much easier to kind of indirectly monetize my content, where it's like I'm making money from a creator fund on TikTok, or I'm making money through AdSense or whatever. I don't have to have like any sales conversations with my followers, saying ask them to pay me or support me. I don't have to, talk to any brands. I'll just kind of like be in my shell here. But, that in my mind is a very risky business to run. Right? Because you get demonetized, something happens, and your viewership starts to decline, or, people are not seeing your content as much as they used to organically. There's so many different variables and things that, like, honestly, if you like, there's entire categories of content that YouTube, for example, has just decided to completely demonetize, like kids content, for example, or, other types of things that they deemed controversial or not, brand friendly, brand safe, or whatever. Right. And so, again, like you have to be thinking about some of these other monetization, streams to diversify your overall business. And so in my mind, working with brands, working with sponsors, if that's something that is uncomfortable for you, first of all, like, let's get some applause here. The fact that you're on this live stream, that is a step. You are here, you are learning about it. And so I applaud you, right? And so, but that next step is, how do you actually learn how to price yourself, right? And so the kind of the quick and dirty framework that I have talked about in some of my content and videos is something that I call the DO rule. So DUE, and D is the deliverables. You have to actually understand, what is the brand actually asking you to do? Like with this partnership, is it a podcast ad read? How many is it going to be? Is it a going to be an Instagram post? Is it a video, a reel? Is it a photo carousel? Is it stories? Is it a TikTok video? If it's a YouTube video, is it a dedicated video? Is it an integrated video? It's like understanding, setting the expectations with both parties, as you mentioned, so that there's no confusion, that you both know what is actually how many posts, exactly the format, how it's actually going to be executed. That is so critical for you to actually scope this partnership to accurately price it, right? So D is the deliverables, okay? The U in the do rule is the usage rights. What does the brand or the company actually want to do with your content that you're generating for them beyond you posting it natively on your platforms, right? Do they want to run paid advertising with it? Do they want to repost it on their social media platforms, on their website, embed it, right? Use it for like, maybe they're going to whitelist it, so they're boosting the content to like other audiences, right? How long are they going to be doing that for? You have to know that, and you have to ask them questions about this. Don't be surprised when you get a contract and it's in there and you'd be like, hey, wait, the brand snuck it in here. Well, yeah, that's because no one else asked this, no other creators. And so, even though no one else is asking it, you are the creator that is, and it's totally reasonable for you to be asking them this, right? Okay, and so then the E in the do rule is the exclusivity. Is the brand actually saying that you cannot partner with any of our competitors for a certain duration? You better know that, because that represents a direct opportunity cost of you actually partnering with other brands and making more income, right? And so it's, again, all of this stuff is negotiable, okay? And if you are not on my email list, I really, really encourage you to join. It's completely free. And not only do I send you paid sponsorship opportunities every single week, but I share mindset stuff on this. So I have Mindset Mondays where I talk all about this stuff. Okay, and the URL, the call to action, is creatorwizard.com/join. My newsletter has been absolutely blowing up. I think I'm going to hit 10,000. I think I'm going to hit 10,000 creators on my newsletter either today or tomorrow. It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. This newsletter is basically about 2 years old. And like, if I showed you kind of the trajectory of the newsletter, I published a tweet yesterday that more creators joined my newsletter in the last 24 hours than joined in the first 7 months combined. I had 248 creators join my newsletter yesterday, and that's literally how many creators joined my newsletter in the first 7 months. Like, is that insane? Is that wild? Can we get some golf like claps in the like the maybe golf claps, or like some diamond emojis, maybe like a little emoji with the tongue, the money tongue hanging out, like something, right? That's crazy. I just couldn't believe it. It's just nuts to me. And Jenny Lee said in the chat here, we have all done this. It's scary in the beginning. It is scary in the beginning. It's super scary. I get it, right? It's like, man, you don't want to feel bowled over. You feel as though, man, the brand is just super experienced in doing this. This is like, they negotiate all day long, and so they're going to prey on me, right? So anyways, I totally hear you. And a lot of it comes down to just educating yourself, being on this live stream, consuming content to educate yourself, understanding, getting better at negotiation, taking my freaking courses, by the way, right? If you're going to invest in your knowledge, if you're going to invest in camera gear, why aren't you investing in your education to become more business savvy, right? You should do both. But even if you don't, I don't care. It's fine. I can help you with my free content. Jenny Lee asks, what is the best way to get a manager or a person to help with those items? Okay, so Jenny, I don't know if you have watch this video on my channel, but it's called how to what is the title of the video? When to get an influencer manager. I can't remember the title of the video. This is terrible, but it's just go to my channel on my YouTube channel and search influencer manager. And I have a video talking about the pros and cons of getting a manager. I also talk about how to kind of find, but honestly, the quick and dirty explanation is honestly asking around, asking your peers, asking your niche neighbors. If you know anyone else has a manager that they know and trust, that would be like the first avenue, because the other decision that you have to make is, do you want someone who is very experienced, or do you want someone to grow with you? If you want someone who's more experienced, obviously you're going to be paying more for that. So either you're going to the other kind of major thing that I talk about in the video is, do you have existing deal flow or not yet? Because if you have existing deal flow, it's going to be very easier to convince someone to come onto your team and help you manage that, because basically then they are just helping facilitate the deal, getting on the phones with brands, doing the negotiations, understanding, like interpreting the contracts and so on. And so you're probably going to be able to pay them a lesser percentage of those deals than if you basically had to go to a manager and basically say, hey, I don't have any deal flow. I want you to get deals for me. Can you go out and pound the pavement? I need you to hustle for me and get me deals. In those situations, you're likely going to be needing to fork over a larger percentage of those deals, let's say 20, 25%, or maybe even pay them a retainer, like actually money to actually do the work for you. Because again, they have to do the calculus in their own mind. Like, okay, I have this other roster. Do I really want to be spending my time like pounding the pavement for this creator? Yes, maybe if I see a lot of potential and promise in the creator, maybe your content's blowing up and they can see very compelling angles to go and actually pitch brands that are already in their Rolodex. Like, hey, this may totally make sense. But if not, you have to give them a very compelling reason to actually like work on your behalf, right? And so again, like put yourself in the shoes of a person who you would want to do this for you. Another avenue is hire a VA, hire a virtual assistant, and who will help you do outreach on your behalf. Yeah, you're going to have to train them in the way in which you want them to do outreach for you. In fact, I've actually had quite a few creators who have gone through my course and then taken what they've learned and taught it to their VA and basically have kind of delegated that, kind of managing the logistics. And, I have actually a whole Notion template that I developed called the sponsorship tracker. And it allows you to kind of, track all the different opportunities that you're working on, whether it's in the pitching phase or the production phase or the execution phase or whatever, or the actual like feedback phase, analytics phase, and so on. And you can actually teach other people to do this. I am a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of delegation. I have a VA. In fact, I'm actually trialing a new VA right now, a second VA, and another VA. And then I have a community manager who's D. I think D's on the live stream right now. I have a writer, George, who helps me do my Mindset Mondays and my YouTube scripts and so on. And so like I am building out my team. And so, I am a big fan of like focusing on your zone of genius for sure. But yeah, if there are certain things that you feel that you want to, someone to kind of help do this on your behalf, get creative. It's okay. You like get creative. Maybe this person that you work with now isn't going to be the like super experienced manager that you will have in a year or two once you kind of like understand. The other big piece of advice I would give is that ensure that you have a trial period in your management clause or management contract that you're of the person that you are experimenting with. So you say, hey, 90 days, there's a trial period. We can both, if at the end of 90 days, it's not a good fit, we can both walk away, no harm, no foul, just wasn't a good fit. Make sure you have something like that in the agreement because, you do need to like protect yourself at the end of the day for sure. And the other thing too, that I would mention, which I'm really excited about, is I have had so many people who have taken my courses and done one-on-one coaching with me who have basically expressed an interest in ongoing support, who have basically said, like, how do I actually, like, I understand all this, and this is like super helpful, and I'm comfortable getting on phone calls with brands and kind of doing emails with them and stuff. But what if I just want a backstop, like someone to actually ask like, hey, how would you respond to this email? Or does this proposal look good? Would you recommend any changes? Or how much do you think I should charge for this particular deal or whatever, things like that. And so I never had an answer. I never had a solution for that because being like directly managing creators is kind of not in the cards for me in the business, because I've kind of done that in a past life, but I still wanted to serve those people. I still wanted to figure out a way to do that. And so I'm super excited because I literally just launched a program called Wizards Guild, which is only accessible to alumni of my courses and past one-on-one coaching clients. And it's essentially $1,000 a month. And there are 8 touch points throughout the month where you can ask us questions. So every Tuesday and Thursday morning, you can asynchronously send us a video message, a voice note, a screenshot, a proposal link, an email thread or whatever, and ask for our help. And so it's asynchronous. So me, and not just me now, it's also D on my team can actually answer questions and help folks. And it's become, I'm so excited about the prospect of this type of program. So I kind of look at it as like, yeah, you're not alone now, right? But we're not your manager, but we're essentially a coach in your pocket. And so anytime you need help, you can essentially ask like 2 times a week. And so I'm really excited about this particular program because again, I think there's a lot of folks in your situation, Jenny, who you may not want to have a manager who's taking 15-20% of all your deals. And so essentially, if you do it all year long, 12K a year, if you're making 100, 200, 300, 500K or whatever on your business, like, to me, I think this is a very compelling offer. For 12K a year, basically, you can have, help and expertise. So I don't know. Like, again, as with anything, I don't know what's going to happen. I think that this is cool. And so far, we've got some folks who have signed up and feel like it's cool. So again, as with anything, when you're developing a creator business, oftentimes you don't know what's going to happen. And that's the beauty of it. And I'm iterating and I'm figuring it out. And hopefully this was helpful, Jenny. I mean, it's tough. I get it. It's tough to kind of find the solution to this often. But I'm figuring it out as I go. And we got Jamar J said, I love the energy, bro. Are you teaching this? Are you doing the live via Zoom or StreamYard? I'm using Restream right now. So I'm using my DSLR camera and I'm using Restream on IG Live as well. So I appreciate it. We got the Curator Council tuning in live as well. And this is a creator lawyer. So if anyone needs a creator lawyer, I've sent a few people your way, Curator Council. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to take a swig and dive back into the chat. And my contacts are blurry right now, so I'm like having a hard time. Let me adjust right now, seeing the chat. Let's see. Jenny, let's see here. Here. Max has a question. Slav Guns would love to have you discuss, how does the influencer get affected after promoting scammy products like established titles and Komodo knives? Are influencers impacted to their reputation? I see. So I mean, even FTX right now, right? This is a very timely question, Max. Like, for those of you who aren't familiar, so FTX was like a cryptocurrency platform exchange, basically. And if you've heard the initials SBF, or Sam Bankman-Fried, I think is his name. He was the CEO of this company, and it's like exploded in this like spectacular bankruptcy, and lots of people lost money. And the topic that's at hand is that a lot of creators, a lot of YouTubers in particular, promoted this brand. I come at it. Here's the deal. Like, I have no empathy for creators who know things are scams and still promote them. Of course, like, that's very like scammy, and that's very, you're preying on your followers at that point, right? But what I do have a little bit more empathy for are creators who promoted products where it's like sometimes a little bit difficult, like a lot of bit difficult to know, like how would you have known whether something was a Ponzi scheme or was a scam, especially if you're seeing huge venture capital firms investing in it, celebrities investing in it, like as spokespeople and things like that too. So it's like, I don't know, it's hard. Like, the level of accountability that is required oftentimes, from creators is difficult. Like, we don't have lawyers and teams, oftentimes, most creators, to like go and like do a bunch of sleuthing and go down this rabbit hole and like ask all these questions to the brand and make sure they're legitimate and all this stuff too. So it's like, I know that there have been some creators who've just been absolutely flamed. Some, especially with the FTX thing, I don't have any empathy for, because the way in which they promoted him was not cool. But there's others who, man, it's like, it's tough. Like, I have empathy for the fact that it's tough to know sometimes, like, whether there's like an expose that's coming out about a brand, and then it's like, you look bad because you just did a partnership with them. How could you have known that? Like, I don't know. I have empathy. And I think at the end of the day, as long as you are honest and transparent, and you come out and you say, like, this is honestly what happened. Yeah, maybe I didn't do enough research on it, but at the end of the day, I think it's like, it's really difficult. I don't know. So Max, your question about like reputational damage, I think it comes down to like how honest you are with your audience. For those people who, I've seen some of these videos, like people come out and just say, hey guys, I screwed up. I partnered with FTX and I had no idea this was going on, and I'm sorry, I violated your trust. And if any of you went on to invest in that company and lost money, like I'm very sorry about that. Right. So those are the folks who I think, as long as they're transparent and honest with their audience, I think there won't be long-term reputational damage. So that's kind of my take on it, but it's tough. It's tough. It's totally tough. Yeah, and Jenny says, I wouldn't hold it against the creators that got involved, as many really great YouTubers I think got played. Yeah, and Jenny says, thank you. I am getting deals, and I have absolutely no clue, and I'm losing out because of it. Yeah, I hear you. Maybe you should take my course, Jenny. Maybe that's the next move. Take my course, hire us for do a one-on-one or something to kind of even get your initial bearings, or watch be on the newsletter, learn, do the free content for you. I mean, anything that'll help you. But you're here, you're educating yourself, and I think that's the next step. Hey Justin, hope all is well. What's up, Hannity? Finally dropped our first video on our new family channel 2 days ago. Only took months. Wow, we have about 2K subs, and the video has about 2K views already. Wow, that's incredible. We are speaking with a few brands that we've partnered with on Maya's channel. Do you have any advice for the strategy for pitching brands, but also for our family channel? Yeah, 100%. 100% is you already have established credibility by working with these brands on another platform or another channel. And so you don't need to do a whole dog and pony show again, in my experience, because my wife and I, April and I have done this over the years. Maybe the brand had partnered with her on her larger channel. And then we said, hey, we also have a family vlog channel. Would you also like to, partner with us on there? It's as simple as that, to be honest. And not every brand is going to be cool with it because it's not the right demographics, but some will. And so I think it's as simple as having that conversation. Yeah. So congrats. That's exciting. Jamar says, we spoke at the CEX conference together earlier this year. Yes. Holy cow. Dude, I am at 9,000 students myself, bro. Jamar, will you send me a DM after this, man? That is so cool. That is incredible. 9,000 students. That's wild. Yeah. DM me, man. Let's talk. Very cool. Jenny says, yes, I love it. This advice is freaking gold, and I appreciate it. Yeah, FTX blowing up, 100%. Yeah, y'all. So, we got a question here in the TikTok chat from Skincare Nerd. Have you ever had a brand go ghost on you after you have signed contracts and already sent the contract? Wow, that's weird. Less rare than when you get ghosted after sending your rates. That's a much more frequent occurrence where it's like, hey, here's how much you got to pay me, and then they never talk to you again, right? Or you keep following up and they never get back to you. So that's the more frequent occurrence. But actually signing a contract and then they ghost you is weird. So a couple things. Probably, I mean, first of all, is it worth your time to actually chase them? I don't know. Depending on how big the size of the deal, maybe it is. A question is did they countersign the contract? Right. So you may have signed it, but did they countersign it? Because if they don't countersign it, then it's not a contract. It's not an actually executed contract. But if it is countersigned, that's even weirder. And at that point, then you'd probably have to look at the termination clause to see even if the contract is signed, do they have the ability to terminate the contract at any time in their sole discretion? A lot of contracts will say that, which you never want to allow that. You always want to strike that term or strike that clause or get them to amend that language because they can't cancel the contract in their sole discretion. It has to be, as long as you are not in breach, if you have done work for the brand, even if you haven't published it yet, you still should be compensated a pro rata amount of the compensation. Right? You don't want to let them be able to, you film the entire thing, it's approved, but then at the 11th hour, they decided, you know what, we don't want to do this partnership anymore. You still have to be compensated. Right? So again, it comes down to kind of the termination clause in that situation. I would probably be maybe a squeaky wheel skincare nerd. I would continue to follow up. Maybe there's just some moving pieces on the brand side. And maybe the product isn't available, or if it's an agency, the brand is being evasive and it's hard to kind of nail them down on the talking points, or, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you can let me know in the chat how long it's actually been since you signed the contract and you haven't heard from them. Let me know. Cause if it's I don't know, I'm not going to speculate, but if it's 5 days, that's not a huge deal to me. But if it's weeks, maybe that's a concern. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you can tell me. Yeah. But anyways, again, y'all, every week, my time is your time on these live streams. So if you have any questions for me all around sponsorships and brand deals and negotiating and, dance moves. I used to be I used to break dance when I was in middle school. I was in a crew. If you want to see me do the windmill, probably not, because I don't think you'd be able to do that. I don't think I could have enough space to do that here. But that was me. I was the guy. I was the windmill guy. I did the head spins. Did you know that about me, guys? Come on, right? What? Yes? No? Did you take me for a breakdancer? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, we got Artista Naladzi tuning in. Let's see. We've got Mama Mia 2960 tuning in. We've got we got another question here. We got a question from Queen Victoria 680. Justin, would you recommend to join Creator Wizard for UGC creators? I want to do UGC and YouTube. Oh, so are you asking about my Brand Deal Wizard program? Great question, Queen Victoria 680. So what I would probably suggest would be looking into my program, Gifted to Paid. That probably would be a better, program for you if you're kind of at the outset of your journey. The investment is more modest. At this time, it's $500 for that course, and that really goes. There's two components to that course. There's understanding your own creator identity. So thinking about how you are curating your content online, when a brand lands on your actual profile, like, are they rushing to email you, or are they just saying pass, right? Because like the content that you're creating is not in alignment with their brand or their mission, and mission and values and so on. And then it gets really into tactics. So if you are getting free product offers that actually, are in your inbox and you're like, oh, kind of fed up with that, and you're trying to figure out how do I actually convert those into paid partnerships, then I have like a whole, I think it's like 17 or 18 different email templates that you can utilize, whether it's brands saying, hey, be our ambassador, or join our affiliate program, or, the product is expensive, so that should be compensation enough, or whatever, right? And so like I have a whole templates that you can actually, adapt to your own situation. I would say if you're at the outset of your journey and, your following is rather modest and you're trying to understand this whole process of like actually articulating your value to brands so they, they understand why they have to compensate you, my Gifted to Paid program is probably going to be a better fit for you. That being said, my Brand Deal Wizard program is very much advanced. It's kind of for an intermediate to advanced level creator who have a little bit of experience working with brands with doing paid partnerships. I have had some creators early on in their journey participate and get a lot out of it. So you just have to know what you're getting into, because it is a very intense course. It's a 4-week program, and so it's taught live over Zoom, and so it is very interactive, and I put you through the ringer. I'm going to be honest. Like anyone, I think we have a few alumni in the chat right now on the live that can probably vouch for that. You got to be willing to put in the work. And so if that is the case, then absolutely, you have my full blessing, of course. But I just kind of want to give that full disclosure. And again, if Queen Victoria, if you have any questions, follow-up questions, just DM me. Happy to provide you those resources. Oh, we got some follow-up context here from Skincare Nerd about that brand that ghosted them. Yes, I signed and I sent the contract. They asked for updates. I completed them and I sent a second version. Haven't heard back from them since November 10th. And I have been corresponding with the agency, not the brand. Wow. So you actually created the content and they asked for updates. That is super frustrating. That is a month of being ghosted. And that's really annoying. So a couple things, Skincare Nerd. I have actually seen this happen, and I don't know if this is the case, but where the person actually got fired that you were interacting with or got laid off, and the agency didn't properly forward their email address to other people at the agency, and they didn't even know that this was happening. And so it's been a month. You absolutely need to go and start sleuthing on social media. And I'm sorry, not on social media, on LinkedIn, for example, and see if you can find other people who work at the agency, other account executives, other maybe directors or client, client liaisons or anything like that, and send them a message, say, explain the situation, what's going on. And chances are they're probably going to be horrified that this happened, because this has actually happened multiple times I've seen with creators where the person just left the company abruptly or got fired, and then they didn't even know that there was these ongoing projects that they were working with. So Skincare Nerd, that would be my recommendation, is absolutely go full court press if it's been a month, and especially if they had like asked for feedback and all this stuff too. So definitely follow up on that. Hopefully that's helpful. Kyle Dart, what's going on? Kyle Dart 14. Artista Naladzi said, what is this live about today? The live today was about how to get sponsored this month in December. There's still time. There is 11 days before December 20th, which is, I think, when most people start checking out. And so, yeah, if you want to go back to the beginning and kind of hear me talk a little bit more about that, go watch the replay on YouTube. Yeah, skincare nerd sounds good. Good idea. Thank you so much for your advice. Of course, 100%. Jack Vosman said, should you pin your high view content so they're seen if the brand views your video or views your profile? I have a couple different perspectives on this. Your pinned content, both on TikTok or Instagram Reels, for example, is prime real estate. That is not only is that what your followers see first, but that is what potential brand partners see first, right? And so what I actually believe is a more effective tactic to utilize your pinned content is a reel or a TikTok or whatever, where it's like about you. Learn a little bit about me, right? And you actually have that text on your thumbnail, a little bit about me or whatever it is. And it's like a short video. Hey, for those of you who are new here, this is, who I am, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't have to be a long video. And that is what actually a brand would see first. If you don't want to do that on Instagram, for example, what you can do is you can pin a story highlight to the front of your shelf and have that be an about me section or whatever. Because again, when a brand is actually trying to vet creators or search for creators for paid partnerships, like they are looking through lots and lots of profiles oftentimes. And so they're not going to sit down and watch 10 of your videos all the way through. They're going to watch 30 seconds of one of them. And so your job is to lower the friction to help them understand what you are all about as a creator. And a very quick way to accomplish that is having a video like that about me or a story highlight or whatever, where they watch it for 20 seconds and they're like, oh, this person's cool. I think let me put them on the deck. Let me put them on the pitch deck that I'm going to go and pitch to my boss, or if it's an agency, I'm going to go in and I'm going to pitch it to my client. I think this person is good. Lower the friction, make their life easier. Going alongside with this, putting your email address in your dang bio in plain text so that the brand doesn't have to hunt for it. Don't make them hunt. Please don't. I saw a tweet. This is so funny. I saw a tweet from the Mark Guam, who is the lead on the Google Pixel team, the Pixel phone team. On Twitter, he said, creators who put their email address in their bio, and then it was like a GIF, like a chef's kiss bio or something. And I was like, this is what I've been saying, everyone. I'm telling you, right? Like people know. The reason I know about this is because I was on the other side of it. I ran an agency for 7 years, and I can't tell you how many times I really wanted to reach out to a creator about a potential paid sponsorship, and I literally could not figure out a way to contact them. It was so frustrating. I can't even. Oh my gosh. I can't even describe it. So just put yourself in the shoes of a potential partner. What do you think that they would want to know? And again, going back to your question, Queen Victoria, this is a lot of what I talk about in the first module or the first section of my Gifted to Paid course about how to curate this brand, this creator identity for yourself to make it easy for brands to actually find you and want to partner with you, right? So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. We got a question here from Architectural Sheet Metal 101. Can brand sponsorships provide a comfortable living? Part 2. How can we partner with companies that have big ticket items like machinery companies? All right. So I love your niche here, Architectural Sheet Metal 101. Can you tell me your name? Because you're here all the time and I feel weird kind of saying your channel name every time. Can you let me know your name? Because I feel weird. Let me know, please. But without knowing your name, I'm just gonna keep saying the name of your channel. So 100%. Can brand partnerships provide a living? I think a lot of creators think that the only people who are getting really lucrative brand sponsorships are lifestyle creators. They're getting these really, really expensive, getting super lots of money because they can partner with any brands. And let me tell you, some of the most lucrative sponsorships that I have seen have been for creators who have an extremely narrow niche. Right? I give my friend Paul this big shout out. I feel like I'm giving him a shout out every week on this podcast. But he has a podcast called the Green Industry Podcast, and it's all about helping lawn care professionals make more money in their businesses. How much more niche can you get with that? Right? And so I think Alex, there we go. Alex, I feel similarly about your channel. If I was a sheet metal company, or if I was someone who was doing industrial design or home building or whatever, I don't know quite exactly about what types of things you cover on your channel, but it's if I was a company in that space, like there's not that many people that I could partner with for things like this. And so when you reach out, you have to understand that and know that and understand your value so that when you are crafting partnership proposals for them, you're communicating that. Like one of the biggest like unlocks around like how you can actually pitch these like lucrative, 5-figure deals for some of these companies is helping them accomplish their own marketing initiatives. Here we go. This is perfect. Metal roofing, siding, stuff like that. Okay, so Alex, here's a perfect tactic for you right now, okay? If I'm a homeowner, okay, and I was literally, this is so funny because I have a pergola, or I have like in my backyard, I have like an outdoor kitchen. I didn't build it, by the way. I was lucky the previous owner built it, but there was one of the reasons we bought it. It was like this awesome outdoor kitchen. And previously it had this structure, like a pergola structure over it, but it didn't have a hard roof. It just had like it had like a canvas. It was like a weatherproof, not canvas. It was like a rain resistance weatherproof canvas that was stretched really tight over the top of it. But over the several years that we lived here, it was starting to get weathered. And so one day when it was like super windy, it got ripped. It was going like this, and it just like ripped. A huge chunk of it ripped. And I was like, oh man, I guess I gotta replace this. And so I looked into, what do you think I did, Alex? I started Googling and I started watching videos on YouTube to try to figure out what are my solutions to what can I replace that like weatherproof canvas stuff with on top of the pergola. And what do you think I settled with? Metal roofing. And so I did all this like stupid research. I don't understand any of this stuff. I'm not like a contractor, but I was like watching YouTube videos to try to understand like what type of metal roofing I should be putting on my pergola. Right. And this stuff is not like cheap, right? Especially if you get high quality stuff. Right. And so this is what I was doing. And so to your point, Alex, like this could be the pitch that you make to a prospective, metal roofing company or siding company who doesn't understand creators, who doesn't understand influencer marketing. And they're trying to be like, what? Well, you want us to pay you to do this? Like, no, we'll send you free stuff. But like, what? You want us to pay? You tell them no. The tactic that I am going to help you do is it's going to be an SEO tactic, a search engine optimization tactic. YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world behind Google, by the way. And so you tell me, metal roofing company, what are the top 10 keywords that you think you want to rank for? And then I will help you create content that ranks highly for that. Right? Best metal roofing for pergolas. I don't know. That's a search term that I probably used when I was on YouTube. And you better believe that if someone like you, Alex, was talking about it on your channel, I would have looked and clicked the link in the dang description box and probably bought the dang siding from the company that sponsored you. Okay? Right? So is this unlocking anything for you? Because I hope it is, because like you can be very creative with the types of partnerships that you pitch. It doesn't have to just be about like, oh, you're going to post on my channel. Maybe, Alex, what you go out and you pitch them is, hey, metal siding, metal roofing company, I will help you create content for your YouTube channel so that you can rank highly. I am loving these 4 mind blown emojis that you just gave me, Alex. Right? I'm glad that this is unlocking some stuff for you. Jenny says, architectural sheet metal, we own an HVAC company, and I deal with lots of custom construction. And I'm glad to see Sheet Metal Channel as I'm worried for the trade in 20 years from now. Yeah, 100%. And absolutely pitch them. My husband did this with Ecobee. A week later, he had a meeting set up to speak with them about making the thermostat more efficient. Definitely do it. You never know. Look at that, right? You never know. So I'm glad this is like unlocking stuff for you. Jerky.com says, I am here to learn. Great to have you, Jerky.com. Do you actually own Jerky.com? What is that even? Are you selling beef jerky? Like, are you a brand? This is cool. Jerky.com, that's a cool URL. Jerky.com, shop our official gift of the year. Look at this. Is this you, Jerky.com? This is dope. So cool. By the way, Jerky.com, if you want to I'm going to put on my pitching. Watch this, guys. Jerky.com. You are on my TikTok right now. If you want to get in front of almost 10,000 creators with any sort, if you want to work with them, I have a newsletter where I share brand sponsorship opportunities every single week in the newsletter. So if you have any paid sponsorship opportunities that you want to get in front of these creators to actually recruit them to talk about jerky.com, slide in my DMs. Email me jerky.com, Justin at creatorwizard.com. What do you think of that pitch? It's free, by the way. Did I mention that? Did I mention it's free, jerky.com? Hit me up. I'm trying to get people paid here. Come on, let's do this. Mel's marketing CEO says, haha, love it. Thank you, Mel. Get him. Got him. Right? Oh my goodness. Okay, we've got Amashroon Crypto. Hi, do you have a template that I can use to reach out to brands for me to get paid sponsorships? I'm going to give you a very simple template. Okay. And it's my pitching methodology that I teach in my course Brand Deal Wizard. Okay. It's called the ROPE pitching method. So it's not quite a template because I'm not a fan of templates per se, but it's a mindset. Okay. And what ROPE stands for is R is relevant to a campaign that the brand either ran in the past or is running currently. Okay. For your pitch. O is that you can tie your pitch back to organic content or work that you've already published. Okay. P stands for proof. Okay. So that you can show other brands how you have helped them achieve results. And E stands for easy to execute. When that brand says, sounds good, what do you have in mind? Okay. And so the ROPE pitching method is very, very important because it helps you illustrate, and there's a lot more to it, obviously, but for a shortage of time, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. You can watch, I talk about it in more detail on some of my YouTube videos and so on, but it's really, really important to shift your mindset from being, hey brand, pay me with your hands out, to hey brand, here is how I can help you accomplish your own marketing objectives, which by the way, you've already allocated money for. Okay. So yeah, just a little teaser there. You can join my newsletter. Join my newsletter if you want to learn more. creatorwizard.com/join. And follow-up question, what if I have never done any before to show proof? You know what? Well, what you can do you have some affiliate data, any affiliate partnerships? Maybe you have sold, something on Amazon Associates, or maybe some other affiliate program. Even if you don't have any affiliate, proof, results that you could showcase, you can give them and link them a piece of organic content that you made that actually drove results. You probably have talked about something. I see you're in the crypto space. Maybe you've talked about a particular coin or some other exchange or something where you have people in your comments or people in your DMs who said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me about that. I'm going to go check that out. That is proving your influence, right? In the same way. So you have absolutely no excuses not to at least show them some sort of proof that you're not just blowing hot air, right? Yeah, that's interesting to add in affiliates. Yeah, awesome. Of course. Happy to help. Alex said, Justin's brand deal brain is dropping knowledge. Man, I appreciate you. Absolutely appreciate you. Jenny also says, when you buy things, add them and talk about them in your videos and tag them. 100%. This is one of the biggest myths that I hear, that a lot of creators say, oh, if I'm talking about them for free, why would they pay me? And that could not be further from the truth. When a brand decides that they want to actually run a campaign, it has oftentimes very specific key messages and talking points and a call to action. Use my promo code FLAVAJ20 for 20% off your first purchase. Come on. Right? Are you saying those things organically when you talk about the brand and tag them on social media? No, you're not. What you're doing is you're getting on their radar and letting the brand know that you have authentic affinity for their product. And the next time they're recruiting for a paid activation, you are instantly going to come to mind. Okay? Hello, Bass. Thanks for tuning in. Back to work. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Mrs. Juno says, pitching for this month, Tuesday-Thursday still best, or Monday, Friday / over the weekend? Can I send out a pitch today / tomorrow, or is it best to wait till Tuesday? I would say like ASAP, like you have, in my mind, about 11 days, even less than that, probably like what is that, 5 working days probably next week is like the max. I would, if you're going to actually try and pitch something, get on their radar, trying to get some meetings on the books for January. Tuesday through Thursday is still typically my favorite times to send pitches. Mondays, people are digging out of emails through the weekend. Fridays, people are checking out. But even because of the fact that we're so close to the end of the month, the end of the year, I would just like get those pitches in now. I would literally close this live and go pitch them, Mrs. Juno. Don't close the live. Like wait till I'm done. But right. So I would definitely try that. Hiking with Mary said, what is considered a quick turnaround when pitching next week to brands? A couple days? 100%. Yeah. I would say I can turn something around in 72 hours, something like that. Like, I think that's pretty quick. 48 hours, 72 hours. Because again, they're probably going to need to provide feedback on that content or that asset, right? And so that's another like amount of time. So again, if they're trying to get this live before the holidays, to allow time to actually have a product ship to consumers, you're going to have to like do this thing quick. So maybe 48 hours is in your pitch. You can do that, right? Holy cow. KMH family, Hannah D. Thanks, Justin, for all your gems. A $9.99 super chat. We sent out a post-campaign report and the brand loved it and was so appreciative. Holy cow. Let's get some. Come on. Let's drop a golf clap in the emoji. I found out about you 2 years ago and you've been such an inspiration, Hannity. I am so proud of you. That is absolutely incredible. Holy cow. Yes, man. That makes my day. Makes my day. Jenny says a ton. This was an amazing stream and definitely taking it all in as I'm revamping my channel, connecting organically with amazing new creators and preparing for an amazing 2023. Absolutely, Jenny. Well, we got Shannon in the chat. I didn't even know you were here, Shannon. What's up? Good to see you. Yes, loving all the hand clap emojis in the chat here. Well, anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in each and every week. It always means so much to me, especially all you OGs. You're always you're here every week. It just like blows my mind. And Hannity especially, thank you for the super chat. It really means a lot to me. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays. And I will see you next week. Peace.